Hey y'all, it's your girl Claudia Jordan, and we are back with TGIF. We're here to spill the tea and break down the biggest headlines in the news and on social media. So whatever you make trend is what we will be covering here. And later on the show, we are highlighting Mental Health Awareness Month with host of WeTV's Marriage Boot Camp, Dr. Ish Major. So stick around for that. Now sit back, relax, and get ready to sip on this hot tea. Please welcome Al Reynolds. What's up, Al?
Hey, what's going on, Claudia? What's going on, soulmates?
Kicking out here in the ATL, and please welcome Armand Wiggins. What's up, Armand?
Hey, what's poppin'?
What is popping in your cups tonight, fellas?
Oh, you came in spicy. You must be drinking.
I already had my 2 Moscatos today. I had to film today.
Reposado is in my cup with a couple of cubic ice chips.
Okay. All right, Armand.
I'm on some Reposado and Red Bull, so we're gonna be up and stuff today.
Y'all drinking the same thing today?
Yeah. Well, he's going straight, I think.
Oh, but still Reposado. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Drinking twins. Okay, well, we're going to have one of those kind of shows tonight, so let's get into these hot topics. All right, not only is Drake in the middle of a rap beef with Kendrick Lamar, but Rick Ross and other rappers, but now his home in Toronto is in the middle of a shooting investigation. It was recently reported that a security guard at Drake's home was shot in the chest during an alleged drive-by shooting. What do you think of the shooting, and do you think any of his beefs are connected? Al, what do you think?
Oh, this has just proven to be such a bad week for Drake. Not only did he get his, handed to him in a rap beef, he now has a security guard that has got shot in front of his house. Now, I'm going to tell you, allegedly, the streets are saying that the shooting is related to him and Weeknd's beef, not him and Kendrick Lamar's beef. The streets are saying that Drake's security got into it with the Weeknd security last week, and there was a shooting surrounding that, and now Weeknd security came back, brought it back around the block, and just returned the favor. So that's what the streets are saying. That's alleged for me. But like I said, this has nothing to do, with Kendrick Lamar, but this is definitely another example of Drake just having a very bad week.
Very bad. Wow, the Weeknd. So now R&B singers out here with goons. Armand, what you think?
Child, it just looks messy, and I feel like everybody's gonna be included in this. Kendrick Lamar dropped Drake's house in his address for that for the cover art of his latest record. So we don't know where this came from. So for me, it just feels all coincidental. So I'm just glad everybody's okay. But when they said it was a drive-by, I'm like, that's a long driveway to be driving by. It was clearly somebody that knew him at some point that was able to drive up inside that driveway and shoot that close to the security guard, in my opinion. So I don't know. I'm just interested to see what's going on because they did say that they have surveillance footage that they're going to be releasing soon. So we'll see.
I hope it doesn't end the way, other rap beefs have ended. I mean, a lot of the small time rappers got murked, got taken out. And of course, we will never forget, of course, Biggie and Tupac. And I hope it doesn't go there. I really do, because this is wild. The fact that someone is like busting caps outside of doing a drive-by outside of Drake's house. All right, we've got some comments here. David says, well, we know it wasn't Rick Ross shooting. He ain't quick enough to do a drive-by. And Christina says, the Weeknd be getting violence, the ghetto. And Jay said, maybe Drake planned it to see more gangsta. That did cross my mind. I was like, because like all the internet was talking about was Drake getting violated and getting destroyed in this rap battle. And now it's like, oh, now it's getting too serious. So now we have to lower the temperature. You never know, because there's so much fakeness out there in this world today. Who knows? All right. We recently shared the stories of Brian McKnight and his estranged relationship with his kids. Rickey Smiley took to social media to offer support. Check this out.
If anybody get this message out to Brian McKnight, 2 sons and daughter, you are always welcome to the state of Alabama, to the great state of Alabama, where you have men and you have uncles and you have a lot of people in Birmingham that take on kids that have been abandoned by fathers.
All right, fellas, do you think the support is genuine, or should this have been handled behind closed doors? Armand, what do you think about this?
I do feel like it was genuine, but I could see how some people feel as though it's a bit performative, because you are Rickey Smiley. So you can find their Instagram and DM them. I'm sure they'll respond. It's one of those things that you don't need to let everybody know that you're doing it. You DM them, you hang out with them, you bring them to Alabama, then you let them come and tell the world how much of a great time they've had at, the Rickey Smiley house and the Rickey Smiley mansion. You don't say anything. You just be be the stand-up guy that you are. You invite them into your home and you take care of them as you said that you would, and you let them go and talk about it on the internet. Not you, because it looks very performative.
Okay. Al, what do you think?
I think anybody that knows Rickey Smiley and follow him, this is what he does. Rickey Smiley is that guy. He's really nice. He's a stand-up character trait of his is that he's very open, transparent, and he is for the community. He comes from a community that reminds me of my own. He did this when his son was in college and the cops were pulling people over. He extends himself. He takes care of his grandkid. This is Rickey Smiley at his finest. And for knowing him, I just have always respected how he takes care of the community, how he takes leadership as a Black man and he speaks into those places and make it safe for anyone to come in and join that community, that tribe that he has built. I liked everything about it, and 110% I thought it was genuine.
Al, do you know Rickey Smiley?
Well, of course, from the industry.
I worked with Rickey Smiley for a year, and he's taken in other people's kids before. I definitely know that. And he's definitely very public about his relationships with his kids. I think if this isn't performative, that it's a great thing. And Brian McKnight, I'm just going to go focus on Brian McKnight about this one. Brian McKnight, the fact that other grown men have to sit there and say, your kid can come here, is making you look like even more of a clown than you already are. Whether Rickey is doing this for real or performance, that's not even the point. The fact is the real blood daddy couldn't do it. The blood daddy doesn't even give grace to his kids. And that says a lot when other men that are unrelated to the kids are like, you can come over here. But then the real daddy's like, oh, y'all born in sin. I'm going to leave that alone. Brian McKnight, trash box. Well, Tyrese inserted himself by slamming Rickey's efforts. Oh, wow, Tyrese, take a look.
Have you ever heard of brainwashing? Have you ever heard of people who literally cut off their father because of everything that their mother has spewed into those children?
All right, is Tyrese just defending a friend, or was he out of line? Or Mom, what do you think?
I feel like he was out of line. I don't agree. Y'all know I like Tyrese, but I just feel like at the end of the day, a parent's job, whether the mother spewed these things into them or not, he shouldn't be handling his kids like he's handled them, calling them like products of, evil and things like that, and acting as if he doesn't even own, like he's never even birthed them. Like, no, it's crazy. So I don't agree. And I think that he was also upset with Rickey Smiley. And this is why I feel like Rickey Smiley, if you want your message to not be in vain, you should just message them privately, because people are going to take it out of context on social media. Okay,
Al, what do you think?
I think I'm gonna stick to Tyrese. Tyrese, I like Tyrese. We talk about this all the time on the show. I think it's safe to say, Tyrese, you really shouldn't be talking into this space, considering the issues that you're having with your own family, that your ex-wife has made very clear. And I just would rather, for me, the issue that I'm having with Tyrese constantly on social media, having these kind of what I call social media outbursts, is I want us to focus on the talent. I want your legacy to be about your talent, about how you became one of the best entertainers in your generation, your music, your acting. You're being associated with one of the largest franchises in the history of entertainment. Instead, we're talking about your antics that you show on social media. I just wish he would take a break, especially when it comes to stuff that clearly he's not even good at. So I just want him to work on that. That's how I feel about this.
I feel like Tyrese did this to just use this opportunity to throw a jab at his ex-wife.
Right.
That's all that was about. That was like, well, you never know. Some of these baby mamas might be pouring into these kids. Tyrese, shut up. Shut up. I'm so sick of you right now. You used to be tolerable. I've interviewed you a couple times, and now you're just not. Like, you're really not. Like, I just feel like the rants, the complaining, the messiness. I forget that you're a really good singer sometimes, and actually a decent actor. I really forget, because all we do is talk about you whining and just getting in everybody's business. You might as well come over here to TGIF and be the fourth member, the way you be like in everybody else's business. Do you need a job over here?
Or maybe he's autistic.
Well, everybody is. So.
Right. You know, and we're learning that in our 40s, right?
You know what? Brian McKnight's son, Nicholas, clapped back at Tyrese and stated, Tyrese used to sleep under our pool table when he was a kid. You should sit this one out. You have your own relationship to fix with your children. Yeah. It's like this. Like I say in this show, there's certain things I can speak on because I come from a place of confidence because I'm not messing up in that arena. Now, if the conversation was about cussing, gambling, and drinking, I have no leg to stand on. You cannot take advice from me because that would be fake news. It would be like, girl, bye. We know, or even I'll even say it, even relationship advice. Don't take none of that advice from me. But when it's something that I believe in and I know about, you can speak on it. Tyrese, your track record in relationships is not really there. You might as well come on over here with us, like I said. Okay, we have some comments. Brandon said, Tyrese had time with all those court dates. And Danny said, Rickey Smiley always gave me granddad vibes. I'm sure he's nurturing and coming from a good place. Lily said, well, y'all always say it takes a village, let them get some support. And Jada said, those kids are very grown, though. It's not like they're toddlers. I think they're talking about, the previous story. And Brandon said, Tyrese had time with all those, with all those court cases. Tyrese, I think you're so dope as a singer. I just wish I wish we would be talking much. I wish we could talk about you dropping new music. That's what I think. All right, coming up next, we catch up with Marriage Boot Camp's Dr. Ish. And later, you will never guess how much T-Pain is paid an hour to play video games. Check that out coming up next. We'll be right back.
Scene 103, take one.
I thought we'd be on the same page about this, and we're not.
How do I know the way I'm gonna respond to it?
I want you to get the vaccine because I want you to be safe.
What if you end up in the hospital? That's what I'm scared of.
If you was to die, man, that would literally kill me, man.
I hug you.
Yeah. If it made you feel that way, bro, I would probably do. I love you, man. I love you too.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Welcome back to TGIF. All right, y'all. Tonight we are chopping it up with the host of TV's Marriage Boot Camp. TV's Marriage Boot Camp, Dr. Ish Major. Please welcome Dr. Ish Major. Welcome to the show.
How's everybody doing?
How are you?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Well, we good. We're gonna be professional right now. I know we're trying to gossip during the break, but we're gonna do that on our off camera, okay, Dr. Ish, because we got some things to talk about. But thank you for stopping by. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. I'm doing good. You know, it's a busy time of year. This is obviously Mental Health Month, but it's a busy time of year in terms of how our feelings are coming to the surface. So I've been really busy these last couple of months.
Okay, well, thank you for stopping by. Now, Ish, many people don't know that you're a board-certified psychiatrist, relationship and a life coach. I think you can help all three of us here. Tell us about how you got started in this field.
You know what? I grew up in a big family, 5 sisters, 8 aunts, right? So we literally grew up in like this little village, and it was my dad and my brother. But I was the baby boy, so I was always surrounded by women and just kind of listening to them talk and listening to them express their emotions and all this kind of stuff. And so I was always really, really curious about how people feel and how they get past how they feel. And I really got some insight into that early on, and just kind of it kept on from there. You know, in school, I was the kid, everybody else is at recess in the 8th grade. I'm inside in the classroom, and like 5 or 6 girls surrounding me telling me about their boyfriend. Right? So I was always that dude. And so it just kind of was a natural fit.
Oh, Dr. Ish, that's so interesting. I'm the youngest of 6 as well, so we come from a big family, so we know all about those come by y'all moments, right?
Exactly, right? Yeah.
As you know, the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I got a question. What are some of the behaviors that would suggest, right, that someone is struggling mentally?
So that's a good question. And there's a lot of good things. There's a lot of different areas. If we're talking depression, we're talking something, or anxiety, or with substance use, those are the big 3, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the more common ones, let's talk about depression. So depression, I'm from the country, we keep it simple. You got 7 days a week. If you are crying 3 or 4 of those days a week, then you got a problem and you're struggling, right? Mm-hmm. If we've got 7 days a week, if you're feeling sad 4 or 5 out of those days, then it's time to get some help, right? We've got 7 days a week. If you are feeling like things would be better if you were no longer here, any of those days a week, then you've got a problem. It's time to talk.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, that's very interesting. I think that's something that we should all probably take into account. All right, Dr. Ish, it's time to switch gears a bit.
All right.
Okay. So tell us about how you secured the hosting position on WeTV's Marriage Boot Camp.
Yeah. How I secured the hosting position. You know, yes. I wish I could tell you it was a master plan. It just kind of like some of the coolest things that happen in life, it just kind of falls into your lap, you know. I did my first show at WeTV, was called Exile. We had this group of folks who were trying to manage their breakups, right? And as soon as I got home off of that one, they were switching out folks over at Marriage Boot Camp, and they were like, hey, have you ever heard of this Marriage Boot Camp show we do? I was like, yeah. They were like, well, our hosts want to retire. Why don't you come on in and take their place? Literally, we'll start in 2 weeks. Can you do it? I was like, I don't see why not. and as they say, the rest is history, you know?
Nice.
And I know for a fact that Marriage Boot Camp gives a nice check.
It's a nice
Armand and Al, he being modest. I know the talent they was giving, they was offering a lot of money, because it was one time almost they give money over there. So I'm just saying. So congrats.
Listen, anybody who's watching, it's a nice bag, y'all.
Are y'all
nice, right? They take care of the talent, and they should, because think about that emotional work. You're coming in, and it's not scripted. Right. And they come in, and all I need you to do is go through this emotional program and have a very real reaction to it. Whatever's there, that's all I want to see. And they're surprised by the second and third day, all of the stuff that comes up. And they're like, oh, my God, I didn't even know that was in there.
And it's not easy. It's hard. So it's several $100,000, y'all. I'm just saying. All right, Chris, I don't know what his salary is, but I'm talking about some of the talent. Now, Chris asked, Dr. Ish plays no game. He gives tough love. And Kelly says, I love Ish on my screen. Is he single, asking for a friend?
I am single, Kelly. Who's the friend?
Kelly, who's the friend? Please comment back. Now, Ish, in relationship news, there are so many couples that are being talked about right now, and we talk about them all the time. So we need your expertise in a segment we call Dr. Ish Knows Best.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right, Dr. Ish, we can't pay you what Marriage Boot Camp is paying you, but we want to get some of your expertise. All right, now, in the midst of this very public divorce, Jeannie Mai is claiming Jeezy has been abusive, and he's claiming that she's on a smear campaign because she wanted more kids with him. What advice would you give them?
You know what? The best advice I would give the both of them is, before they let the words leave their mouth, before they take the words into their attorneys, before they take the words into mediation, ask yourself this: how does this help our kids? How does this help them? right? Because what you're in now is a different phase. Now it's not the you and I phase. It's not the romance phase. We are simply co-parenting, right? We are trying to get through these next 20 years and leave this kid with as little unfinished emotional business as humanly possible. That's all we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to do. And it's like, right, Al? And it's like with any relationship, there are two sides to every story, and then the truth is somewhere in the middle. And so we just don't know what that is because we weren't privy to all that.
I like this. Okay, so let's keep it going then, Dr. Ish. So Drea Michelle announced that she's expecting a baby with her 22-year-old boyfriend, Jalen Green, who is around the same age as her son. Talking about protecting sons, we want to know, is that a red flag? You can be honest. This is a safe space, Dr. Ish.
It ain't safe, but we want to know.
Well, listen, it's a red flag when you think about the differences, right? And so when we talk about red flags in relationships, I always tell people stop painting those red flags pink, right? So we can paint this flag pink all we want and empower women and say, yes, women can date younger, women can date down, they can do all these things, but he's the same age as your kid.
Right.
And so, right. And so so that means something. That doesn't not mean nothing, right? Doesn't mean it means a couple of different things on mine, right? That she's vibrant, she's healthy, she has a vigorous appetite, right? And when we talk about sex, it means all of these things. And what's it about that baby boy that makes you so attracted to him? Right? And so just address that and be honest about that. And if you're cool with it, then rock it out. I don't have any problems with it, but it doesn't mean nothing, right?
Right.
It was the baby boy for me. All right. Okay, now we got to get into some more spice. All right. So Kim Kardashian reportedly called it off with Odell Beckham Jr. over their allegedly busy schedules. Now, does this scream real relationship or is this a PR relationship?
Yeah, that was really, really fast, right? That was a whirlwind of relationship. So something about that doesn't sound right to me, right? We don't have all the details. Something about that sounded very superficial and surfacey. And when we all heard it and we're just like, wah, wah, meh, then maybe it wasn't as interesting and juicy as they may have thought, right? It could have been some sparks there. It could have been something real. They're two attractive people. They got their own thing. But we know the Kardashian camp and we know Odell. They all love publicity, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Maybe if it didn't catch fire, then the kind of flame fizzled on their end also. That's what
yeah.
They are both good looking, but there's definitely tea out there that you're like, I don't know if that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay. That was fun. Now, Ish, are there any current projects you're working on and what's next for you?
Oh my goodness. So guess what? We got something cool coming out next month. Nick Cannon, we got this new talk show coming out, Council Culture, on Amazon. Think of it as The View, but all guys, right? And it's not about cancel culture, it's about council culture. So we're going to bring on some of your favorite celebrities, some of your favorite athletes, and they're going to be dropping a lot of tea. And then we're going to really unpack a lot of what's going on with us in that zeitgeist. Number one, what is this toxic masculinity and is it a real thing? We're going to really examine that from the guy's point of view. And look, and it's Amazon and it's Nick, so we're going to say some stuff that we probably shouldn't, but it's going to be good.
Yeah, y'all going viral every week. Every week.
I love that. I think we're really dying for more masculinity on television. Like we need some of that energy out there, especially when it comes to relationships. We have one last question that I just have to ask because this is a good question. I think we all would like to know this because we talk about these people. Jared said Ray J and Princess have been on and off again with a divorce. Any advice for them?
You know, I think they got to do the thing that's called them to their soul, right? I know Ray J. I love Ray J. He's a hilarious dude. I think you're allowed to figure it out. The problem is most of us can do our relationship inside a bubble. But if you're say a celebrity, if you're famous, it's hard because everybody's weighing in. So the advice I would lay to that, right? Think of it as a bubble. And what's the thing when you and I sit down and have a heart to heart with no phones, with no kids, with no distraction, right? Am I your person? That's the question. Right. And that's a conversation where if you're in a relationship, you should be having that conversation no less than every 3 days. No phone, done. No kids, to bed. No friends, and you look at this person, you grab their hand, you ask them, hey, am I still your person? And make it okay for them to tell you the truth. Right.
And what if they say no?
Then guess what? they just set you free to go find that person who was looking for you. Because Armand, there's somebody who's out there looking for you just as you are right now today, right? But you can't find them if you got your head stuck up somebody else's butt. You follow what I'm saying?
Well, pause. That might be a good place for me.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, Doctor, it's clearly Armand needs some relationship help. So when you cast for the next season, Armand has a relationship, I guess. So maybe you throw him on that show and give him that back. I'm just saying. All right, Doctor, we appreciate you coming by. We'd love to have you back on. Like we kind of need this because we're kind of a mess, and we appreciate your sound advice. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Claudia, Al, Armand, it's a pleasure. Thank you guys so much.
Nice meeting you.
And if you want that tea we talking about, just hit my DMs and I'll gladly share.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. Coming up next, we get into some celebrity exit stories with tea fact of the day. And later, find out why a mom wants to breastfeed someone other than her child. Straight ahead. We'll be right back. It's Ratchet. We'll be right back.
TGIF.
Can you imagine 30 million people walking around sexually frustrated because they can't get to their porn?
You're looking at one right now. I'm going to save it.
Every weekday.
I'll never live in Texas again. It's the worst.
What's your favorite porn, Armand?
Oh, I'm not getting into that. My God.
On Fox Soul.
Now, what's yours?
And listen, don't judge me, okay? Massage porn.
That's boring now. Give me a good three-way gang.
Oh, I knew it was going to come out.
Yes, yes.
When I got the opportunity to get her, there wasn't no choice. I told myself, I'm gonna take custody of my daughter. It's my baby. That's what we're supposed to do as men. Take care of our home, build a foundation, you know what I'm saying? Love, our money, she's my purpose. I'm here to walk with her, hold her hand until she can walk alone. Ain't nothing like being a father in this world.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out.
Welcome back to TGF. Real quick, I just want to say something real quick. Gary Owen was on Club Shay Shay today, and he cleared up a rumor that his ex-wife tried to put out there that he had messed with me or one of my friends, and I had to live with another home record rumor that just was not true. And I just want to just give him his props for like using part of his interview to clear up another lie, and I thought that was super dope. And he didn't even tell me. So Gary Owen, I appreciate you. And Shay Shay, thank you for allowing that to go out there. I don't know how we feel about each other, but I appreciate that. I thought that was super dope. I just want to just give credit where credit is due. All right, we can all agree that social media tends to resurface some of the most random facts in pop culture history. So it's only fair that we unpack those facts in our tea fact of the day. All right, tonight's tea facts are filled with relationships that most people didn't know about. So let's see if you all are shocked to know that some of these people have dated in the past. Soulmates, can you guess who Nia Long dated in the past? Can you guess? Can you guess? Can you guess? That's kind of a random question. Who have y'all heard about? Okay, I'm going to tell y'all. It was sometime friend of the show, Peter Thomas.
Wow.
Peter Thomas, are you shocked by this?
Very shocked. I would have never thought that. I don't know. I just feel like Nia Long was always, to me, like that ultraly beautiful girl. So I just felt like she could have any man in the world. And I don't know, Peter Thomas, I don't know much about him back in the day. But I just wouldn't see, I feel like she would be more of a stallion kind of man than Peter Thomas.
Peter Thomas back in the 90s was very influential in entertainment. He was, he was like one of those people that worked with Uptown Magazine. He held these dinner parties. He was a networker. He was a little bit of a boss in the streets back in the day. And, he's still doing the same thing now. But I can see it because she likes that. I could see in the 90s where she liked that type of, the guy who's calling the shots, guy who is like corporate running things. I can see those two together for sure.
I think someone in the business that is, sometimes you get turned off by other people that are in the business. And I could see, a businessman that's got a little swag to him. He's definitely confident. Women like confident men. You could see it. All right. We just had a friend of the show, Hill Harper, as a guest, but it was reported that he allegedly dated Taraji P. Henson. All right. What are your thoughts? And should they rekindle their relationship now that she is single? What do y'all think?
First of all, Hill Harper looked good back in the day. I'm sorry, that man was fine, okay? But him and Taraji look good together. It would have been interesting to see where they were today. And honestly, if they're both single and available, I think this would be a nice looking couple.
Especially now with him up for a Senate seat. I'm not mad at that at all. We liked her. We loved Taraji. All right, Al, what do you think?
Oh, we used to see them out and about together all the time back in the day. I did think that, they were, an attractive couple together. I think their lives kind of grew apart now. So I don't know that I would say I would put the two of them back together, but at the time that they were together, they definitely were a cute couple.
Oh my God, the soulmates are going in. Jacob said Nia Long dodged a bullet. Tina said Peter Thomas been making his rounds for years, taking advantage of women. Chris said Nia had some low standards then, but I guess she hasn't learned from her last relationship. Oh my, y'all are going in on Peter. And Kelly said, sheesh, who knew? She might be the first lady one day, talking about Taraji. Okay. I didn't know they dated. I never seen them around. I never seen either one of them with their mates or anything. So that's an interesting couple. And listen, Taraji is a successful woman and Hill is a successful, attractive man. That's very brilliant. We know that. So who knows? Who knows? I'm not mad at it. It was reported that comedian Jackie Long allegedly dated Serena Williams. Al, did you know about this?
No, I didn't know about this particular couple, but I think that only lasted for like a year. But we say all the time on this show, Black women love to be made to laugh. And as a comedian, I can imagine that's probably one of the things that she was attracted to him. And plus, he's a very handsome guy. I can see why she dated him for sure.
Okay, Armand, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I didn't know this. And I'll just say this, honestly, it's finally nice to see Serena as a Black woman, because these days, I don't know whether she's Black or white. No Michael Jackson.
What?
We can't tell what Serena looks like these days. So it's nice to see her as a Black woman in the 90s. Because in 2024, Serena looked like a white man. Oh, I almost said a white man. Excuse me, a white woman.
Oh, Armand, what am I going to do with you?
Hey, it's the truth. And she's got a white husband. So they say you become who you are with. So she's starting to look like her husband.
I think I heard rumblings of this, and Jackie is actually a really cool guy. And Serena, I've met her. I don't know her like that, but I've met her, and I think, it's an interesting couple, but I didn't really know that they were together like that. Okay, I heard rumors, but okay, good to know that it was true. All right, switching gears. T-Pain recently was paid $250,000 from 7-Eleven to promote the company while he streamed himself playing video games for 2 hours. He also revealed that he makes an average $60,000 an hour from playing video games that are sponsored. Did y'all even know that this type of money could be made in gaming? Like, I knew they would make money, but not like this. And would you ever get into gaming to try to make this type of money? Armand, what do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like I knew that. People on Twitch, they've been making money for years doing this. I've tried to get into gaming. I just can't sit that long. But that's what I'm saying. When people talk about grown men being online and playing games and saying that that's not attractive, you're crazy, because these grown men playing these games are making millions of dollars, all right? And they're working smarter, not harder. So a lot of people do this, and I'm not surprised. And if I really had the patience to do it, I probably would do it too.
All right, Al, would you do it?
Hey, I think you guys know I'll just add it to another one of the jobs that I have. But yeah, gaming and streamers like Kai Sanat. I mean, he's taught me so much about this business where he sits online for like 4 or 5 hours a day. And from what I understand, he's making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars a day. So yeah, I think I would look into it. I'm not a big video game player, but maybe streaming could be something that I could learn. Maybe someone who wants to learn the process can learn it with me. That's the best I could do because I know I probably won't be the best at it.
I love that there's a lot of people making money doing this. I think life has changed. Like people are not doing as much physical labor. They're out there doing stuff. They're finding different ways to reimagine their careers and working. And T-Pain has bread. We know that he's very successful, but that doesn't, listen, who's turning down $60,000 an hour? Like, I'm not mad at that. Real quick, we have a couple comments. I'm gonna have to go back a little bit, but Andrew said Serena gave all these black men a chance and they couldn't get it right. That's true. Ain't like she jumps into a white man. Like, people are like, oh, she with a white man. Oh, she tried. She tried.
That's true. That's very
and
true.
Lynn said Jackie Long had an icon and we didn't even know about it. Okay. All right. Well, keep it locked because coming up next, DJ Vlad gets put in his place. And later, Meek Mills gets vulnerable on social media. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
You know how to fry
chicken?
No, I don't.
Oh, you ain't got no
give me
man.
that black card back.
TGIF.
It's not about blackness. I don't make any fried foods, okay? The chat is going in about this fried chicken. Lynette19 said, I am blackity black and fried chicken is not my favorite go-to meal. Stop with the stereotypes, okay?
Live and interactive.
Oh, Al, you don't even cook, please.
Fried chicken, fried fish. Come on, baby.
On Fox Soul.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around. And I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
Welcome back to the show. Shout out to all the messy soulmates in the chat. All right, y'all, it's now time for us to give advice to our soulmates who are dealing with crazy situations and may need a little guidance. This is our T-mail of the day. I want to warn y'all, y'all did ask us for advice, and I just want you to know who you're asking for advice. So good luck with that. This T-mail comes from Michaela in Baltimore. She writes, Claudia Allen Armand, I need some help bad. Let's just say my mom thinks she's Stella and she's trying to get her groove back, but it's too close to home. My mom is recently divorced from my dad and she's dating, which I have no problem with, until I found out that she has been going on dates with my best friend's dad behind my back. It's a conflict of interest that could damage my friendship if things turn left. So should I say something or just let her live her best life? Al, let's start with you.
I I think you should do both. I think you should let your mother live her best life because she's at a certain age where there aren't a whole lot of options of great people to date. And if you really love your mother, you really should protect and follow her lead as it relates to who she's given her time to. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have a conversation with her and let her know how weird of a predicament you think this could possibly put you in and hear what she has to say. She can respect it and keep it away from you, or you guys can come up with a middle ground so that both parties are happy. But at the end, if you really love your mother and you want your mother to be happy, especially since your dad has passed, seeing her happy, dating, and getting going on with her life should be where your main priority lies.
All right, Armand, what do you think about this situation? Messy or not?
Let that woman live her life. You know, you and your best friend should actually come up with little dates and things for them to do together. Make it a game. Make it fun. Dating is dating. You know, we're not saying that they're going to be engaged and married, and who knows? If they do, they do. But at the end of the day, you're grown. She's grown. She has a life to live. She's at a particular age. Let her have fun with it. And you just make sure you build that pact with your best friend that, hey, listen, no matter what happens here, me and you are locked in for life. And we're going to separate ourselves from this if it goes awry. But we'll try to make it go good as long as they're in communication with each other. Have fun with it.
I think if that's your best friend, like nothing really can get in the way of that. Like, why would my parents, like, why is that an issue? It may be uncomfortable if it's a bad breakup, but maybe out of respect of their kids, they probably won't have a messy breakup because they'd be like, well, we don't want to mess it up with their kids. Like, listen, I agree, Al. There's not a whole lot of options out there for young people, old people, middle-aged people, whatever. It's a hot mess out there. There's pee in the dating pool and lots of married people in it. So if she can find someone that she gels with, like, maybe be helpful to that. Like, I would try to foster that. I think that would be cute, you know? You already like their kids. Derek said, let your mama get her back crack, child. Okay. And Mia said, all these men are here and she's connecting with their best friend dad. Okay. Well, that's in your proximity. A lot of times you date who's around you. And Kelly said, Al, the dad isn't dead. They divorced. Okay. Okay. Well, either way.
Probably dead to her.
I guess so, right? Let her live her life. Live your life. If your love comes in the form of your daughter's best friend, then go ahead and get that back cracked and get your groove back. I'm not mad at it. Okay. Soulmates, be sure to DM Fox Soul on Instagram if you are in need of some advice, because look how great our advice is. Who knows? Your letter might just get read here live on the show. Okay. Let's get back into some more topics. DJ Vlad has been criticized for his insertions on Black culture. So recently, Morgan, a Black professor at Princeton, tweeted, "You are whites. This is a Black folk affair," after he tweeted his comments about the Drake and Kendrick beef. Now, DJ Vlad threatened to contact her job by adding them. He has since cleared it up and said he was just trolling her. Should we, as Black people, gatekeep some things, or does everyone have the right to critique and comment on them, on us? Al, I'm going to go to you because this is a school-related thing. What do you think?
Yeah, so this is the deal. Fun fact, though, you know that this professor is Darkchild's niece, Rodney Jenkins' niece. And, you know, Rodney Jenkins is like the producer to everyone, and he has one of the largest viewed interviews on DJ Vlad's platform. So I shared all that because after DJ Vlad found out that this was Rodney Jenkins' niece, he doubled back. He backed up a little bit. But this is what I would like to say, and I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with this, but I feel like this. We continue to give white people the keys to our culture. We continue to put them on we continue to platform them. We go to him. He's interviewed all of our top entertainers, Black male rappers. He's entertained everybody. And then what happens when you give them entry into our platform, they start to get comfortable and they feel like they can push back and say whatever they want. And in this case, for me, I think he pulled a Ken, not a Karen, but a Ken. He really was trying to professionally harm her by adding Princeton University. And I thought that that was out of bounds and it was unnecessary. And I just feel like when you're losing a conversation with someone, why do you go to those measures of trying to professionally harm them? I didn't like it. So for me, should we gatekeep? I think we need to gatekeep our culture a little better. And we need to also check those who try to wrong us when they shouldn't. And that's exactly what happened here.
I do think that is whack that he tried to professionally harm her, but that is not uncommon. People do that stuff all the time. They're like, oh, okay, I'm going to get you in trouble. I'm going to try to get you fired. Armand, what do you think about this?
Here's the thing. I do think that we should gatekeep, but I also got to understand, you got to realize you got to know your opponent. So for her being in a professional, professional like that, you can't just come out and say things like that because you do have something to lose. And you know that clear people, they will try to make you lose your job. So when you have something to lose and you know people are out there ready to Karen or hate on you or try to get you fired, you got to beat them at their own game because it's a nasty world out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like she kind of missed up by putting it on social media because it's not like Princeton is an HBCU. Like there are white students that could also complain about this. But I do think she has a point, but I think that what she said should have been probably in her group chat with her friends.
Mm-hmm.
But when we can take up the fight for you, because a lot of people have been saying the same thing about Vlad. On one regard, it's like, oh, it's nice that he has an interest in our culture, but he's made millions of dollars off of our culture. And sometimes it's like, sometimes we kind of get tired, I think, sometimes. Because what show is it? Okay, give me, and I'm asking both of you, I know we have to go. What Black media personality, right, makes all their money and their living off of just commenting on white culture? Can y'all name one?
Child, I don't know.
Candace, no.
Yeah, I said white, but okay.
You said Mel.
No, like what white person?
We would never be able to be able to.
No, you mean what Black person comments only on white?
Has a career based on like culture vulturing or making money or exploiting the white community? Is there someone out there?
No, but to Al's point, we did that. White people don't put us in position to do that, but Black people will put white people in position to do that to us.
I think Black people are so welcoming. We're like, oh, he's down, he's cool, he knows our lingo, and then we invite everybody to the cookout. Not saying that everyone doesn't. There's some people that should, but I don't know. I just feel like he did get really comfortable. TJ says, y'all should have stopped Vlad years ago with those Boosie interviews. Okay.
She should have just found a more professional way to say it. Sorry.
With the professor. Yeah. Because we get it. But it's like some things you say around family and some things you can say publicly. Like we get it. But now they're going to be like, oh, she's racist against her white students. Maybe we need to suspend her. All right, soulmates, they say milk does a body good, but where do we draw the line? Rachel Bailey recently revealed that she's considering having another child so she can breastfeed again, but not only her child. She wants to breastfeed her husband again. In the past, she would breastfeed him 3 times a day. What are your thoughts? And is there anything unusual that you do with your partner? Armand, let's go to you first.
For me, I thought this was a little bit odd, but apparently this is something that people do, and it's kind of normal. As long as there aren't any health issues, there are health concerns, people can breastfeed, as adults. And what they're saying is that, it can kind of build relationships closer and stronger, and, it can help the woman have more milk. So I don't know if they like it. I love it. It's a little bit awkward for me, and but I'm here for it if they like it.
Oh! A grown 30-something suckling from your teeth. Look at that. Okay, Armand. Hey, everybody's opinion has to be respected here, so I cannot. Okay, Al, what do you think? Would you?
Well, I can't throw rocks living in a glass house. I think I breastfed till I was 4, so I loved sucking on titty. I'm sorry. So maybe this is a kink of some sorts that we don't know about and that this couple enjoys. I do know that one thing that my dad always said about my mother, my dad used to love seeing my mother pregnant. And so he that's why he has 6 of us, because he just loved how her body would change, how her hair would grow, how she would glow. And that was something that he was into. So maybe this is a kink for them. And I would never, ever kink shame anyone.
I 1000% a kink shaming. I think this is weird. To have a baby so you can breastfeed your weird husband, and not the priority is not the baby. You're not having the baby because I want to have the baby. It's I want to have a baby to breastfeed my husband. That is an issue to me.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Yeah, that's kind of like, what? So when the baby sees this on social media one day and says, Mom, you had me so you can breastfeed dad? Like I was just like a side effect. I was like a plus one.
But that's what they like. If that's what's going to keep her man and she likes doing it, hey, that's a happy marriage for them. Let them, as long as they're happy and they're not hurting anybody, why are we mad?
Aliens, if you're listening, please come get me. Please come get me first. Okay, we have a comment. Jordan says Al Bones must be strong because he breastfed till he was 4. That's what they said. That's what Jordan said in the chat. All right, that's all we got in the chat right now. Hey, coming up, find out what happened to a rude customer at Whataburger. Don't go anywhere.
You know how to
fry chicken?
No, I don't.
You ain't got no
Give me that black card back.
TGIF.
It's not about blackness. I don't make any fried foods, okay?
Boo!
The chat is going in about this fried chicken. Lynette19 said, I am blackity black and fried chicken is not my favorite go-to meal. Stop with the stereotypes, okay?
Live and interactive.
Oh, Al, you don't even cook, please.
Fried chicken, fried fish. Come on, baby.
On Fox Soul.
When I got the opportunity to get her, there wasn't no choice. I told myself, I'm gonna take custody of my daughter. It's my baby. That's what we're supposed to do as men. Take care of our home, build a foundation, you know what I'm saying? Love, our money, she's my purpose. I'm here to walk with her, hold her hand until she can walk alone. Ain't nothing like being a father in this world.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out.
Welcome back to the show. Listen up, soulmates. Stop what you're doing and download our new Fox Soul app. Now, if you already have the app, you can simply update your current Fox Soul app or download the new one. You can also opt in for push notifications and leave a review in the Google and in the Apple and Google Play Store. So make sure you stay in the loop with our programming by downloading the Fox Soul app today. Please check it out, and you can watch it wherever you are, not just at home in front of your TV, on your laptop. So yeah, Fox Soul on the go. All right, let's get back to these topics. Meek Mill took to Twitter to express his struggles with Milan Harris, the mother of his sons. He claims he called his son, who he shares a birthday with, 10 times and couldn't get in touch. He added his other son can't even wish his brother a happy birthday. All right, what are your thoughts? And is it ever okay to keep a child away from being in contact with their other siblings? Armand, what do you think about this?
Here's the thing. There's a couple of things. I don't like when women use the kids as weapons against the man, keep their son away from them because they're upset with the father. However, too, a lot of these celebrity men, they come on seasonally. And I was seeing a lot of people talking about this. Like, they come on for Christmases and birthdays, and they're like, I can't see my son. I can't see my son. But yet we don't see Meek Mill and other celebrities doing all this crying out on social media on any given Wednesday. So my thing is just hopefully it's not performative and you're trying to see your son all the time, not just on special occasions.
I agree. I cannot stand the social media dad that on special occasions has a kid and then it's like, my heart, my everything. And you probably had the kid just once that quarter. Al, what do you think about this story?
I just feel like this. I feel like, first of all, if she is keeping her kid, if she's keeping that kid from the father intentionally, Milan, do better. I don't think that's the issue though here, because she is very involved online. She's an influencer, she's a clothing brand owner, and she's like a socialite. So I think the issue here could be like, why are you bringing it 2 social media meet meals on his birthday. What about the other days? Does she always keep him away from you, or is it just this time you waited to the last minute to try to reach out and things are going on? I just don't see her being that type of woman. And I also want to know, is she always keeping him away from you, or is it just this one time that you tried to reach her? Maybe she was in Pilates, maybe she was, doing something else in a photo shoot or something, couldn't get to her phone, and she missed the 10 calls. That's what I want to know when you talk about situations like this. Is this the first time, or is this the 10th time that you can't get to your son?
I think a lot of times, and we're probably all a little guilty of this. We don't get the full story. Like no one's telling their part of the story. Like no one's telling their bad part of the story. They tell what the other person did to them. Like, is there something behind this? Because what mother, unless you're going through negotiations, I don't know if he beat you. Like who really wants their kid to not be around their dad? A lot of times you be wanting a break. Now, are there women that do this? 1000%. There are. But I'm just saying majority. So I'd like to know if there's more to the story than we know about. Okay, we have a comment from Nakia. Why wasn't he at the son's birthday party? Well, maybe he didn't know, or maybe he was busy, or maybe he was booked. I don't know. So yeah, once again. All right, a woman ordering at a Whataburger drive-thru served a dose of karma to an angry and impatient customer who was in line behind her that she claims was honking the horn. Now, she asked to pay for the lady behind her's order, and when the cashier gave her the receipts, she took both her and the angry woman's food, leaving the woman to have to reorder herself. What is the pettiest thing you've ever done at a fast food restaurant, Al? What do you think?
Oh, geez. I thought this was hilarious. I was here for all of it. I thought it was smart. I thought it was brilliant. But I have to say, I've seen this 100 times and 100 different variations of this on Instagram. So or on the internet. So I don't know if it's real or not. But what's the pettiest thing I've ever done?
Fast food.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't go too much fast food now. So come back to me. Armand, go to Armand.
I don't play with my fast food. I don't really get too petty with that because I don't know what they're going to do with it now. As far as people in line, I don't really have that problem. Usually I'm the person that's irritated because some idiot is sitting in front of me ordering 50 hamburgers and taking her time and trying to pay with pennies. You get what I'm saying? So I'm usually the one honking the horn like, hurry up, you idiot. You're sitting there ordering the whole restaurant and just to have a Diet Coke on the side, like that's going to make a difference. So for me, I don't really do anything. I'm the one that's frustrated.
I do not act up, talk back, yell, cuss nobody out at anybody's restaurant that is dealing with my food. I do not think it's a good idea. I do not get it. I'm very polite. It's please and thank you and all of that. I'm not doing it. And people are too crazy nowadays. So I don't have any petty stories about any fast food. I'm not being the aggressor or the victim. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and I'm not taking my food back if they get my order wrong because people might get mad. People be dropping the buns on the floor, picking it back up like, oh, you want to bring your food back? You just never know. So I'm not doing it. All right. Speaking of food, a woman that was working DoorDash made a delivery to her house. And guess what? Her boyfriend opened the door. Take a look.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
You're meant to be in London. This is the business trip. Are you for real? Is this real? Is this a joke? Is this a joke? Adam! Well, say something for God's sake. What are you doing here? Let me see who you are. Who are you? Adam, what's the shouting? I'm his missus, is what the shouting is. I'm his missus. Yes.
You missed your delivery driver.
Wow, she clearly found out that she delivered to his side chick's house and he was supposed to be somewhere else. Well, what would you have done if you were the girlfriend or the side chick but didn't know he was in a relationship? Or Mom, what would you do?
I probably, in my first initial thing is I would have probably just cried and probably melted and gagged. But once he would have hit me with Mrs. Delivery Driver, like now you're going to play in my face, I would have went to jail that night.
I heard that. Okay, Al, what do you think?
So you're saying if I was the girlfriend that was inside the apartment?
Either one, if you were either one of them.
No, if I was the food deliverer, the one that he was, lying to, that food, I would have kicked that door in. It would have been a struggle right there with me and him. That food would have been all over the apartment. It would have been an ugly situation. I think I've shared before. I'm not good in these type of situations, and you don't want to see me unravel.
Can you imagine, right? You think your mate is in another city. I'm not sure if it was another country or another city. And you're like, okay, let me go to work. And he's calling and lying and checking in and saying all the things that he's supposed to say. Oh yeah, today was a hard day. And you go try to make a few extra dollars and you go and what is the odds of that? The house you deliver to is the house he's at with his side chick. I don't know. She was very calm to me because I don't think I would have. I'm with you, Al. I don't think that would have been my reaction at all. Like I think she had every right to get crunk. I'm definitely not leaving the food with y'all.
Oh no, I'm throwing the food all over the place.
Oh yeah, I'm taking that L. You're not keeping this food. So
if the side chick get crazy, I'm gonna fight her too.
And then being the side chick, finding out that the guy that you think probably doesn't have a girlfriend, like that's embarrassing for both people. Like that's. Y'all gonna learn to quit playing with people's feelings like this because you don't know. You could be the last straw of many straws that got broken, and this could be the one that makes them snap and go off on you. All right, y'all, fun show. I want to thank Dr. Ish for joining us tonight. I also want to thank my co-hosts, Al Reynolds and Armand Wiggins, for joining me tonight. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Now, you know our show repeats the next day on all the platforms, so please check it out and run those numbers up. We really appreciate the support and the love. And stay tuned for Fox Soul Face Off coming up right after this. And we'll see y'all back here tomorrow. Bye, Armand. Bye, Al.
Bye.
Have a good night, soulmates.